It's time for another installment of Stories You Don't Remember, the crappy, lesser-known fairy tales you'd blissfully forgotten until I had to come along and remind you about them. This week's entry, The Ant and the Grasshopper. Here we have the story of an ant who spends his whole summer working, collecting food, lifting 300 times his own weight, etc. Meanwhile, his buddy, the do-nothing grasshopper, spends the summer singing. Singing, why not? I don't know who writes this stuff. But anyway, winter comes, and in a big stunner, MC Hopper is suddenly getting very hungry. The grasshopper goes to the ant and says, "Hey buddy, how about some food for your hungry friend? I'll sing At the Hop for you." But this is where the story gets good. Rather than caving in or being generous like your average annoying fairy tale character, the ant basically says, "Screw off, grasshopper," and slams the door. End of story. This is the favorite fairy tale of 4 out of 5 professional exterminators. While we're on the subject of stories with animals, let's try one you might actually remember a little better. Specifically, one with goats. Wikipedia actually says that this story comes from its own genre, which it calls Eat Me When I'm Fatter stories. The Wikipedians sure can turn a phrase, because that definitely should be its own section at Barnes & Noble. Also, no fairy tale podcast is complete without an appearance from a troll, so let's kill 2 birds with 1 stone and tell the Three Billy Goats Gruff. 3 Billy Goat brothers, all named Gruff, find that their meadow has been paved over to build a new Starbucks and take off one by one on a hike to greener pastures. The trip requires crossing a rickety old hanging bridge, the kind you usually only see in Indiana Jones-style movies when the hero is being chased by some sort of demon-possessed tomato plant. The smallest goat arrives at the bridge first and decides to take a shot at crossing. Just as he begins to trip-trap across, he runs into a very ugly, very angry, very ugly troll. Or, in some alternate translations, Jack Nicholson. The troll announces that he's ready for lunch, but Gruff suggests the troll should wait for his bigger, fatter, tastier brother, who will be coming along shortly. The troll, being a troll and all, falls for this. Well, either that or he thought this was one of those delayed gratification psychology experiments where if you hold out until the end, they give you a free pizza. Right on cue, a few minutes later, a beefier goat trip-traps up to the bridge. Seeing that his skinny brother is crossed without difficulty, Gruff Jr. starts heading to the other side as well. The troll appears and declares the goat buffet open for business, but again finds his lunch put on hold when he's tempted by the promise of an even meatier goat coming along soon. The second goat also passes without incident. Finally, to the troll's delight, Gruff 3.0 arrives, and as promised, this goat is huge. However, lost in the fine print of the previous brother's offer is the fact that this goat is on steroids and also a variety of other PEDs, and therefore he's jacked. Plus, he's got horns. The next thing you know, the troll is flying off the bridge, and the mega goat trip-traps off to join his brothers, munch some grass, and open a goat yoga studio. Things are going to be all right. At least until Indiana Jones and the demonic tomatoes get there.